everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be replacing the blades on my Craftsman riding lawnmower's blade deck. So a little background on why I'm doing this. So I went to start the lawnmower a few weekends ago and it just made this horrible sound, and did some digging around underneath because I figured it had to be something with the blades, because particularly the screeching sound was coming when I tried to turn the blades on. So sure enough, I ended up pulling out a piece of tree root basically that was the size of my fist. So I'm guessing the blades were caught up on that, and so trying to engage the blades, the pulley system wasn't able to move, and so it was making a sound. But once I got that out of there, I still had just a rather strange sound from when the blades were running. So I ended up dropping the blade deck to see if it was blade related, and sure enough, once I got the blade deck off, I was able to look at the blades, and I've got a broken blade on this side, and I've got a bent blade right here. And so the sound I was hearing was most likely from this bent blade, because it was likely hitting the ground or just lightly scraping the ground once the blades were engaged. So upon determining that my blades need to be replaced, I ordered some blades and I got them in yesterday. So this is a brand new blade for the 42-inch deck. I got two of them. Now the way this is going to go on is the sticker is going to face towards me. And you can see this blade is slightly different from what the blades are on there right now. It will fit. It is a ½ inch longer, so it's going to be a ¼ inch longer on each side, but I have measured it is going to fit. So this is a 20.5 inch long blade overall, and this one is 21, but it's not going to be a problem. It's not going to hit anything. Before we get started on replacing the blades, I'm going to take this outside and I'm going to pressure wash it off, because it is incredibly dirty underneath, and I just don't want to leave it like that. And this is probably years of grass that's hardened on here. Okay, I've cleaned off the blade deck. I'm ready to remove the blades now. If I don't do anything to the blade, if I just put the tool on there and try to take it off, it's probably gonna end up spinning the blade. I don't want that to happen. So I'm gonna hold the blade down and keep it in place when I attempt to remove it. Now, I don't have to worry about cutting myself. Lawnmower blades are not that sharp because they're spinning so fast that they don't need to be very sharp to cut grass. There's no danger of actually cutting yourself by holding the blade, especially if you got gloves on. Okay guys, I got the blades off and ran into a little snag, and it has to do with where the blades mount. So you can see on this side, this is bright and shiny, nice and clean, and then over here, it's very rusted. Well, it's not just the difference in appearance here, there's an actual difference in touch. So this is nice and smooth and level, and over here you can tell, you can feel, and you can see it, this little star pattern that the blade sits on, it's worn down. It's not level with the inner circle. So if I drop a blade on here, falls on, nice and easy, and essentially smooth and level. If I do it over here, it won't go on. So this pattern has apparently worn down or been damaged in some way, and I can't get a blade on. So I don't know if the previous blade was not mounted correctly to it, and it just caused damage over time, or if it was sitting on there and once I took it off, the damage was too great for a new blade to go on. So it's an issue. So I'm probably gonna have to order a brand new part. I don't think I can get this part individually. I think I have to order the entire like pulley stack basically to replace this. So I'm gonna have to look online later. I am gonna put a blade on here. I'm gonna see if I can mount a blade safely to this for now, because I would like to mow the yard at least once, and then when the part comes in, I will replace the entire thing. So I do want to try to mount the new blade to this just for now, like I said, because I want to be able to try to mow at least one time before I get the parts in. So I am going to see if it makes a difference if I clean it up. So I've got a wire cleaning brush here on my drill attachment, or attached to my drill. So I'm going to attempt to clean this, see if removing some of the rust or something allows the blade to sit properly on here. I don't expect it to, but we'll see what happens. All right, I'm gonna put the good blade on first, or, well, both blades are good because they're new, but on the good location. So, the way this goes, sticker is gonna go up. So when the whole thing's flipped over, you know, sticker's gonna face to the sky. This will put the cutting blade, this is cutting edge, all right, and that puts it so that it's closest to the ground. Okay, for this one, since I want to be able to at least use the lawnmower once or twice before I buy the new parts and fix this situation permanently, for lack of a better term, I'm gonna redneck it. So I got my blade, I'm gonna set it on here so that it's where it should be if it dropped on the spokes correctly. But since I have this gap, I want to try to get it to sit a little bit better, so I managed to find a washer that fits perfectly in here, and the hole is big enough for the bolt to go through. So I'm going to drop this washer in, sits nice and tight between there, and it's nice and smooth. It's so flush across. So when I add the bolt in its washer, I should have just a little better contact holding it down and keeping the blade from slipping. And again, this isn't a permanent solution, so if you guys are watching this, don't freak out. I'm not telling people to do this. I'm doing this on my own. All right, this is only for me. I would not recommend this for everyone. And I do intend to buy the new parts. And when I get those parts in, I will make another video to show replacing, well, everything that gets replaced during that process. All right, the blades are on. You can see they spin freely. They're not catching on anything. And this is the one that everything was correct on, where it sat on the spokes correctly. You can see I've got no wiggling, right? And this is the one that you just saw me do, and I kind of rednecked it, and I've got nothing, right? So it's secure. I'm comfortable with this. I believe it's safe. I'm gonna use the mower once I get everything reattached, once I get the blade deck back on the mower. I am gonna mow with it, and hopefully I have to do that once or twice before I get new parts. Before I put the blade deck back on, I need to get the belt back onto the pulleys. So I've got a little diagram here that shows where it needs to wrap around and how it attaches on here. So I've already got it on here, but I'll show you what to do if you have a similar system. So your ability to get it on, you've got these different arms that you can pull so that you can get the the belt onto the pulley. So I fed it over here first, sent it over. All right, this part was a little hard. You gotta shove it down through here, and then this arm's a little bit stiff, but you pull it towards yourself, you get it on there, holds it in place, feed it around, come under, feed it through, and then this will attach to the last one, which is under the lawnmower, and then you just need to slip it on right in here, and that's how it goes. And then just pull it tight so everything's nice and on there, and you can see that we're not going to slip it all. And then once I get the blade deck underneath the lawnmower, I'll do the final hookup on the last pulley underneath. I've got the blade deck positioned roughly underneath the lawnmower where I need it to be. Now, it's held on by 7 cotter pins, essentially. So I'm gonna do the front 2. They're kind of the easiest to get to. So I got this little like swing arm here, and we're gonna stick it through this first hole. And then it's got a little hole drilled through it, which you probably can't see, but I'm gonna stick the cotter pin right through the top. And that's one. Now, I've got the same thing going on the opposite side, so I'm gonna go do that one. All right, so for my next 2 on both sides of the lawnmower, I need to get a arm onto this stud point right here and then put the cotter pin through. Now, you're not gonna see these until you drop the blade, so I'm gonna drop the blade height from number 6, which is all the way up for me, to number 1. And you can see the arm comes down. And now I can position it so I can get this arm onto the stud and then get the cotter pin through. There we go. Okay, at this point, I've got 4 pins in. The blade deck is suspended. I'm now going to do this very back one. So this is attached to the blade deck itself, and this is attached to the frame of the lawnmower. Just put it on there and put the pin in. And that is number 5. For this next part, I'm going to attach this control cable. So I need to run this metal cable through this notch and then slide the plug in. And then on the other side, bring this washer up and over. And now I'm going to take the cotter pin, this is the smallest one, and slide it over from the top. Oh. Okay, for the last one, got this spring attached to the cable we just secured, and just going to drop over this pulley right here. You can see the hole in the top of the pulley, and that is for the last cotter pin to go through to retain it. And I've got the belt on the last pulley now. All right, all the cotter pins are back in, so the blade deck is now secured and reattached to the lawnmower. So I'm going to kind of function check it here by checking that the blade deck raises and lowers properly, which it does. And then you can see that the belt is very loose down here on the pulley. So I'm going to check that and make sure it tightens up when I engage the blades. You can see how much tighter it is on there. Okay guys, that's it. That covers how to replace the blades on the riding lawnmower and reinstalling the blade deck on it. And of course, if you just reverse the process I did at the end, that would also cover how to drop the blade deck if you initially need to get it off and replace your blades. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you like it and click that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time on the DIY Grind.